All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Casey Chalk, and I'm the author of The Persecuted, which is a book about true stories of Christians who are suffering in Muslim lands. With me to talk about this is my good friend, Wilson William, who is one of the main characters in my book. He's someone that I met while I was living abroad in Thailand for several years. Wilson William is an amazing man, a courageous Christian who has suffered a lot, as his extended family that he brought with him from Thailand, fleeing persecution from Muslim extremists in his home city of Karachi. But he's also a dear friend and someone who is an inspiring a man who has demonstrated a remarkable amount of hope and perseverance over at this point, I think more than a decade of waiting to try and be resettled and find a new home somewhere outside of Pakistan. And I wanted to give those of you who have read the book, The Persecuted, or are unfamiliar with the story, a chance to actually see one of the heroes that I talk about in this book. So I wanted to give people an opportunity to meet Wilson William, who is a really fantastic guy, and I'm really excited to be able to share his story with you today. Welcome, Wilson. Thank you so much for taking time to chat with me.
Yeah, thank you, Casey, bro. So raising for my voice to the world. So I highly appreciate it and really grateful to you because I knows you for the several years, several years to know we each other, and since we knows and he's helping and raising my voice. So myself is Wilson William. I'm Pakistani, Pakistani 37-year-old and from Karachi, and also want to thanks for your channel through raise my voice and highly appreciate it to Casey, bro. He wrote the book and published to the people, and many people read it and say to sorry to me about my happen and raise for my voice. So thank you, Casey, bro.
Yeah, of course. And hopefully we'll get much more than simply people being sorry for your circumstances and generating sympathy, but actually getting some action so that we can rescue you and your family and a lot of other Pakistani Christians who are suffering similar circumstances, whether they are waiting for their refugee status in Thailand or the many thousands of Christians who are enduring similar things in Pakistan today. So, Wilson, your story has been read or heard by many thousands of people across the world, thanks to the publisher of the book, Sophia Institute Press, which tells your story. You just introduced yourself and where you're living now, which is Bangkok, Thailand. Can you tell folks who are listening and watching how many people are there with you in your extended family?
We are still here. 14 member remain here. Before we are a 15, but my father is left last year, so still 14 member here.
And that number includes not just your mother, but your sister, one of your sisters, nieces and nephews, correct?
Yes, correct.
Can you tell us what brought you to Bangkok in the first place and how long you've been there now?
Right now I am here for 10 years, and so we are came by in 2012, 21st December 2012 to came here, and we are came together 13 member, me, my father, my wife, children, my two sister, and my one sister children as well.
And can you tell us about what life is like for Christians who are living in Pakistan today?
Actually, the problem is not like the all Muslims. If they just only blame them because there is Islamic culture and they want to be if somebody want to live there, so will accept the Islam, convert to the Islam, then you can leave. If you are a Christian, so there many false cases same as us, so not the true cases. They just only blame you because of the they have an intention to convert you. So like this, same as my brother, they started from my brother, so he just thrown the paper and hand over to him and took the picture and say them, okay, we will come back, so arrest you, we will come back, came back and arrest you. And same, they did that. The suddenly 20 police mobile and the 8 rangers van came to arrest us, but thanks be to God, we escaped the hose and went to the parish and we are safe that time. It's around 12 year ago. And after that, same they did that with my wife in a different, like the different blame in a hospital, same as you mentioned in the book. So they do like this. They just have a, if you have a small issue, like you have a personal like that, if you don't like to someone, so they blame you, try to hurt you.
When, just for those who may not be familiar with the book, when you talk about putting a writ paper in your brother's hands, what we're talking about is Pakistan has these blasphemy laws that have been on the books for many years. And the blasphemy laws make it a crime to say anything that denigrates or insults Islam or the Prophet Muhammad or the Quran. So in the case of your brother, Yunus, is that his name? Is that right?
Yeah, Eunice William, yeah, correct.
Yeah, Yunus. So in the case of your brother Yunus, who was a medical doctor in Karachi,
Yeah,
they took a Quran that had been torn up, which that in and of itself would be a crime, and they put that in his hands to make it look like he had committed blasphemy against Islam.
correct.
But like you mentioned as well, there's many ways that this can happen. False accusations, someone claiming that you had said something that insulted the Prophet Muhammad or the Quran or Islam in generally. And like you mentioned, Wilson, this is something that can happen just because someone has some kind of conflict or disagreement with the Pakistani Christian, right? A Muslim can go ahead and take their anger out on them and try to get retribution against them by accusing them of blasphemy.
Yeah, correct. This is correct.
So you and your wife, Mariam, well, Mariam in particular, were also accused of blasphemy, of trying to convert a Muslim patient at the hospital where you worked, correct?
Yeah, correct. She has a blame on, she break his fast and she just give the injection to him and try to break his fast and also try to convert the Christianity because she doing prayer. So but she didn't do anything. She gave a injection according to doctor. She asked the doctor, can I give him an injection, he has a fasting. So doctor said yes, you can give them, no problem, he has a pain. So she did that, but they blame, no, she break the fast, they blame to her.
And when you say break the fast, what you're referring to is during Ramadan, Muslims are expected
During
to
Ramadan.
fast. And this patient claimed that he did not want the injection because he wanted to be able to continue his fast during Ramadan. That's correct?
That's correct. Even he's more rushed because he knows she's a Christian and she break my fast. If the nurse is Muslim, maybe he's not like so rush and not like, but he knows she's a Christian and he did that and shouting and slapping her. And she, even her son has gun also, he put the gun on her that time, like this.
Yeah, it's horrifying. It's terrifying to know that these kinds of things are happening regularly in Pakistan. I know that two of your nieces were also physically assaulted by Muslim extremists. Can you briefly talk about that story as well?
Yeah, yes, my two nieces were, they were alone at home, but not in same our area, because when we escape our land, so we move somewhere another places and we are hide by self with the few organization. But they found my sister house, my elder sister house, but she's youngest of my oldest brother, Eunice William. So they found found her house and ask her, where is the Eunice? So they claim that, you know, I don't know, we didn't have a contact. But after that, they came second day with the mob, they put some fire on her house. Even both my nieces were inside, so they put the fire, like they use like a chemical, or they have a different kind of chemical, just you can throw there so it's burn. So they both are one, and they had a scar still on her body. And after that, by the grace of God, luckily they are alive.
I was blessed to be able to meet them as well when I was living in Thailand and got to spend several years getting to know you at the local Catholic parish. So yeah, very grateful to know that they're still doing well. But Wilson, you know much better than I do. A lot of Pakistani Christians suffer much worse violence than that. That there are regularly terrorist attacks. I remember that while we were living in Thailand at the same time as you, that there was the big attack on the Easter celebration at the park in Lahore that killed more than 70 people. How often do those kinds of violent attacks on Christians happen in Pakistan?
It's normal whenever we have like a the occasion of, we have a big days like a Christmas, Easter, or we have a any kind of like a like our days, so they are doing, and they still doing, but few attacks they are like a big, so they are media show them. But if you have a small killing, in recently we have a two incidents that they kill one person also, like a blasphemy, they 2 3 days ago, I just saw the news. So they have a, but the media cannot show because they don't have a right, they are the government hold them, don't uh, say this news, because otherwise the we have a world war, they everybody have a pressure, like the America put on a pressure on us, so what is that doing in your country. So they don't show. Every day 2 or 3 cases has in a Pakistan, not just only for the Christian, they have they another nation also, the Sikh community has a last maybe 1.5 week, they killed 1 or 2 person Sikh. They also doing protest in Pindi, Islamabad. So many, this is the routine daily, 2 3 cases, Christian, Sikh, Hindu. They even the 2 3 girls kidnapped. One is the belong to Hindu, in even the one is 1 or 2 girls are a Christian. Just only the last week I saw them, they 14-year 13-year-old, they just kidnapped and forced to convert her, and after that said no, we cannot return, this is Islamic. Now they are get the nikah, and they are converted by himself, and she is accepted the Islam. Just like this they're doing by himself. Even the people, people don't have like so many resources to take it back, so they just accept it and move on.
Yes. So yeah, you're mentioning the forcible abductions of women, Christians and Hindus and Sikh that happen regularly in Pakistan. I believe the numbers that I cited in the book was about 1,000 women and young girls every year who have this happen to them. And like you mentioned, the niqab, maybe viewers are not familiar with that, but the idea is similar to the burqa, right? This is a covering that conservative Muslim women wear, and this is something that is forced upon these Christian and other religious minority women in Pakistan. So, Wilson, can you tell me what has it been like to live in Thailand for almost 10 years? Like, what are you and your family doing this entire time?
Yeah, we are just doing, go to the church and do small work, and people can help, and around people look after us. Even the church give us a small work, so do surviving like this.
And your children and some of your other extended family have been able to go to school in Bangkok, correct?
Yeah, correct, but not like the proper schooling, just only like that. They learning like a tuitioning, like a tuition. The few subject can they teach there, and few can we are at home, but not proper schooling, because we are staying illegal, so don't have like a visa to go to school properly, because they need a visa and the showing everything, so then we'll go to the proper school. Even the schools are expensive, each children is of 4,000 5,000, so we cannot afford, so we are just sending like a learning center to learn small things.
It's a long time to have to be waiting. in limbo. So God has answered some prayers that your family has offered over these last 10 years. Can you tell us about where your wife and your children are now?
Yeah, thanks be to God. They are God answer to the prayer, and now right now they are in a Netherlands, and even my children go to the school, and they started new life already. They learn Dutch already. Even the children are translated to for my wife, and thanks be to God. They are moved. They're spent 7 year here, my wife and children, but we are here 10 year. Me, my sisters, my mothers, and nieces and nephews as well. So
So you also could go to the Netherlands now. You have all the proper documentation to do so, but you have stayed in Thailand in order to try and help the rest of your extended family to also get the necessary paperwork and visas to be able to travel to the European Union, which is very admirable that you are doing that on behalf of so many other people who rely upon you. Can you talk about what gives you hope and courage to keep going every day? I mean, this is a very monotonous life that you live now. You do the same thing every day. You just wait and you pray and you help out at the church, but you don't get to have a job. Your kids don't get, well, your nieces and nephews don't necessarily get to have jobs or go to school. Um, what helps you to keep going every day?
yeah, actually we are doing small thing. We are not totally depend on the others. So my sister and me, before I started making the rosary. Right now, my sister making the rosary and small bracelet with the beads and like this. And my two nieces, the father allow us to sell like a small baked, like a samosa biryani to the 2 Sundays. Second and fourth Sunday we are selling there, so we earn the money and for our surviving even. And remain my nephew, they are served the older serving. And also I'm doing for the parking controls, so like small work we can do by ourselves, few things and few by the church, and earn the money and do survive here.
um, Very encouraging to hear your willingness to serve and sacrifice for your family and for the parish there in Bangkok.
Yeah,
Um,
but thanks
so
be to God, we do prayer every day, every morning, evening, and God answer our prayers. And thanks be to God, we are still alive and He still look after us. So it will take time, but thanks be to God, we can eat, we have a clothes, we are eating and clothing and even surviving. Still we are alive. Thanks be to God for everything. This is true.
yeah, thank you. It's inspiring to hear about your gratefulness and appreciation for God's care for you. As we're closing up the interview here, Wilson, I wanted to ask you, what would you like to ask for those who are watching or listening right now? What would you like to tell them or ask of them?
Sorry.
What would you like to ask those who are listening or watching today?
Yeah, I would like to ask those, so please kindly do remember those who are persecuted. Also remember them in your every prayers, and also take care of them if you are able to do that, so you can do so. And also raise the voice, especially raise the voice for them, because few has like same, they cannot explain properly, but they face a lot of problems. And maybe the language problem, maybe some accents problem, but few people didn't recognize and didn't realize how much suffer we are, like as a refugee. So if you know, so every day is very hard to survive. So just pray for them, and please keep encourage if you have a way so you can support them. So this is my this is my like a request to everyone, to support them kindly and resettle them. So thank you.
Thank,
Yeah.
thank you, Wilson. So you certainly have been a great inspiration to me over the last, at this point, gosh, since 2014. So 8 years that I've known you and your family. It's been a great blessing to me and certainly helped me a lot in my faith to be reminded that there are Christians who are enduring the kind of suffering that you are, but also that you have so much hope and courage. You are a far holier man than I am, and your family is far holier than my family. So it's been a great blessing to be able to enjoy your friendship. And I would encourage everyone who's watching or listening to to please pray for Wilson and his family, but the thousands of other Pakistani Christians who are suffering similar plights as them. They're in desperate need of your prayers. They're also in desperate need of other assistance. There's great organizations in the United States, like the Knights of Columbus and the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops, who have arms dedicated to providing services for persecuted Christians like Wilson in Thailand, but across the world. So please check those out. And also, please, if you have not, get a copy of The Persecuted, get some additional copies and share with your family and friends so that we can raise awareness of this really important story. And God willing, be able to get Wilson's extended family out of this limbo that him and so many other Pakistani families continue to suffer in places like Bangkok. So Wilson, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. And we look forward to hopefully talking to you again soon.
Yeah, thank you so much, brother, for your raising our voice every time since last several years. So you are still doing. So I really grateful to you, because thanks word is very small. So you did a lot of for us, always raising our voice to saying the people. So thank you so much.
All right. God bless Wilson. We will talk soon.
God bless you too, bro. Thank you.